A live-action reimagining of the 2002 animated classic family adventure hit Lilo and Stitch is coming to theaters in just a few weeks. And here to talk about that, available exclusively in theaters nationwide, part of the original Lilo and Stitch, part of this one, ladies and gentlemen, Tia Carrere here on the Rich Eisen Show.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Great. I'm doing great. Nice to see you.
Same here.
I'm so excited. I put sparkly, I don't know, hula skirts on my heels for your show.
You are, oddly enough, you're not the first. Arnold did the same thing when he was here.
I'm already redundant. All right, fine. I'm going home.
Lilo and Stitch is back. I mean, my kids are going to be
22 years ago.
22 years.
22 years ago, I did it, and I'm so glad that I get to be another character
You're
in
different.
this. I'm not 16 years old. I'm not the older sister Nani,
right.
Clearly, but I'm playing Mrs. Keikoa now, who's a social worker that's trying to keep Nani on the correct path. Let's say, with my helpful hints of how to do it. So it's going from the kid that's searching for a mentor to being the mentor, which is, I guess, the natural evolution, being, around for 40 years.
When that comes your way, right? Like you probably were, I'd imagine, surprised that there's going to be some sort of redoing of Lilo and Stitch. You probably thought that might have been, unless maybe not.
No. It's hard to imagine when you have a beloved, franchise like that, and it's in people's minds a certain way, and watercolor, and it was just perfect. So you're afraid to touch that, but I mean, Dean Fleischer-Camp did a tremendous job with Marcel the Shell with shoes on, made me cry, a little shell person, and weeping in my own living room during COVID. And so he, puts the heart with the zany, Stitch is a crazy alien, in CG. It just, the heart and the zany effects are married perfectly in this film. So I think there's going to be something for everyone.
Friday, May 23rd. Everybody make a note of that right around Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah,
right there,
Memorial Day weekend.
Fantastic. Everyone should make a note. Theaters nationwide, Lilo and Stitch, the live action reimagining of this Disney classic is going to be coming back. Tia Carrere here on the Rich Eisen Show. So I asked you before, when I saw you in our green room, if you were a sports fan of any way, shape, or form, which is not a requirement to appear on this program. But yes. I'm happy for you to repeat your answer here now in front of the cameras.
I just came up with this snooty Hollywood actress answer, and I said, well, I love seeing the Lakers in basketball when I have floor side seats.
Well, and I said that's just like it's fair. Any other red-blooded American.
Lakers hint.
Well, I mean, we need to get on that tonight. If not, it could be wait till next year.
No, but I'll sing for my supper. I sang the national anthem at the last Lakers game I went to. So, quid pro quo, some floor seats, and perform the national anthem, my favorite song to sing.
And you also done it locally for the Angels and the Dodgers as well.
Yes, Angels, Dodgers, and Lakers. Now, next Kings.
Okay. Do you know what your win-loss record is of these games, Tia?
I don't think I'm good luck, though.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
No, I don't know the statistics on it, but I'm sure somebody can go up and look.
It must be good because you're invited back to do it.
That's true. I did 2 Dodgers games. So but they don't blame it on me. Whatever happens is what it is.
Yeah, they're a pretty good team, though, too. It's pretty good for you to show up there.
Yeah.
Where does that rank on the nerve-wracking aspect?
It's amazing. I love it.
You do?
I'm serious. This is my favorite song to sing. I used to sing it in senior year at Sacred Hearts Academy School for Girls, and it was a great honor for a senior to sing that song for flag raising.
Okay.
So anytime I get to sing it, for inaugurations or whatever, I love it. It opens my heart. It makes my heart swell. I'm a very patriotic American.
Well, I mean, and I have been told, though, it's the toughest song to sing.
It's a rangy song to sing.
Right.
But I don't know. I had a lot of practice doing it. My sister was a Raiderette, but I never got to sing it at a Raiders.
She was.
She was. I went to the Coliseum.
In Oakland?
No, the Coliseum downtown LA. Yeah, a long time ago, like 40 years ago, maybe 30-something years ago, before they moved away.
So your sister was a Raiderette?
My sister was a Raiderette. She was on the front page of the sports page in her little midriff and short shorts.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We'll have to look that up.
We'll have to look for that picture.
All right. We have a game called Celebrity True or False, where we go down somebody's history film, television, and ask if these backstories that we've heard are true or not.
And I can stand on the fifth if it's self-incriminating.
You may answer however you wish.
Okay.
You are not under oath. We've done this for 10 plus years.
This is a Disney family show. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. Nobody's ever asked me whether this is, testimony or not. But hit it.
Celebrity, true or false?
You can't handle the truth.
All right. Lots to talk about. Celebrity, true or false with Tia Carrere here on The Rich Eisen Show. First up, true or false, you were discovered by a producer's mother and father while shopping in a Waikiki grocery store, and that's how you landed Aloha Summer to start your career.
That is absolutely true. It sounds like a made-up PR story, like a Lana Turner Schwab story, but it's the God's honest truth. I had just finished a modeling shoot, so I had a garland of flowers around my head and a full face of makeup, and I was in a bikini. So there was that. It's not like I blended in. But I was shopping for ground beef for dinner, and a producer's mother and father came up to me. I literally had raw ground beef in my hands when the chance meeting changed my life. And, I could have gone down, the cookie aisle and never been discovered. But I was there in front of raw ground beef and got my first movie female lead in Aloha Summer.
That's how that works.
That's how that works.
So you went, you could have gone down the produce section, but instead you went down the producer section, I guess.
Hey now, the raw meat section. Is there a
which
story?
is potentially an analogy for the business. I don't know. But so that's... So you were just in a bikini
It was a Crazy Shirts photo shoot. So there's this company there, and I'm sorry, I just gave them a commercial. Yeah.
You're in a bikini in a supermarket, and that's
well,
how
that and the T-shirt,
sure, okay.
and then a garland of flowers, the lepo'o on my head, and full like pancake makeup back in the day, and shopping for groceries. Just
and
quick
that's how
stop
it
in and
started.
and then this producer's mother and father just flew in from Beverly Hills and said their son's doing this movie Aloha Summer. I'd be perfect for the female lead.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay. Next up, true or false? You had a guest appearance all set on the A-Team, and was supposed to lead to you joining the cast of the A-Team, but a recurring role on General Hospital prevented you from doing it.
Yeah.
That's a true story.
Yeah, it's too bad I couldn't have done both. I was a regular on General Hospital in the Asian Quarter. And I played Jade Sung. There's me with my little rice bowl haircut.
Jeez.
I was supposed to be Tia. They wanted to use my real name on A-Team.
Oh, on A-Team.
On A-Team.
Okay.
So I was in the last episode of whatever season that was. George Papard's friend from Vietnam had a child, but they thought the child was a son. And then all of a sudden, a VC starts shooting at them from the bush, and that's me. Surprise, it's a girl.
What the hell? Oh, wow.
The storylines from the TV shows in the 80s and 90s.
That does sound like a wild 80s situation.
Yeah. It's a good one, though. It's a good one. You got to check it out.
No scenes with Mr. T?
Yeah, it was very confusing. They call T, come to the set. No, I mean Tia. No, Tia.
Nice.
Tia.
Nice. Very good.
We could never have worked out. No, never would have worked out.
What's the craziest plot you were involved with in General Hospital?
Geez. Okay. There was some valuable, priceless black pearls that were stolen, and they were found in the eyes of a little baby doll that one of the characters had in the show. Priceless pearls. Who knew it?
Jeez. Was this the Demi Moore, John Stamos era?
Just after that.
Just after that.
I think Emma Samms had just left for Dynasty before I came on.
I love it.
Yep.
Every word you
That's
just
some
said.
television history.
That is, I love it. All right, next up, true or false? You turned down a part on Baywatch because of Wayne's World.
That's true.
That is true.
Yeah, it's true. I had gone in for my audition for Baywatch, and then they had to do like a swimming test, and I kept dragging my heels because I had read the script Wayne's World, and it had kick butt, Cassandra Wong, rock and roll, martial arts, and I thought, it will be mine. Oh yes, it will be mine.
That's what you thought.
I was like, there's nobody else I know that can sing, that can do martial arts, that can act, and I had been doing it for a while, and so this is going to be my movie. But we had to I could have lost both. So I'm so grateful that it seemed to come in. It was meant to be.
Right.
I had gone in for Baywatch a couple times. I hadn't even gone in for Wayne's World, and then I had like 2 more subsequent auditions, so it was really tight.
So, first of all,
was a gamble.
I've heard of screen tests. I've never heard of swimming tests. You really had to swim?
For Baywatch,
you
yeah.
had to swim.
And honestly, I'm not that good of a swimmer.
So you had to really prove that you could swim to get a job on Baywatch? You had to do that?
Well, they didn't want you to drown.
I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd imagine there's tons of life-saving equipment around Baywatch. That's what the show's
but I mean,
about.
they're spending the whole time in like, red bathing suits and no, floaties around their arms. So there's no hiding a flotation device.
Okay, very good. Well,
I know what you were thinking.
Well, I mean, it was on the cast. Second one, true or false, you still have the red lace dress from Wayne's World. Is that true?
I do have the red lace dress. I should actually go and put it in, a safe somewhere, but I just tried it on recently. I have to send you the picture. I'll send Liz a picture.
Bless you. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Mazel tov. You can still fit it.
So
40 years later. No.
All right, a couple things. Is it true? Do people say the word schwing to you when they see you?
Yes, people have said schwing, and I turned around and people, guys have been dropped to their knees, bowing before me, saying, "We're not worthy. We're not worthy. We suck." I'm like, that was Alice Cooper. Right. That's not me. I'm the schwing. No, but that's okay. It happens. Like
you have to
people dropping
them.
to their knees, bowing. It's
You got a good. We've had Rob Lowe here talking about how it was difficult to get through scenes. You got any stories like that?
I bet it was difficult for him to do that, like police officer one with the glove.
That's what he said. He couldn't get through it. Because Dana Carvey kept also hammering some fake hand or whatever. So
I was talking about that cop that was pulling him over for the body cavity search.
I got
That's
you.
what I was referring to.
So what about you? Like what?
A hard scene to do.
Yeah, on Wayne's World that you tough to get through.
The whole thing was hard because we had, I think, like 29 or 28 days of principal photography, which means for a studio picture, that's breakneck speed. You had a couple of takes each and you moving on. So you had to have your stuff together. And I had to learn how to play the bass. I had to learn all the songs. I was recording the soundtrack at the same time. And learning all that Chinese dialogue. It was Cantonese dialogue. It was a lot. But I held on for dear life. I was like Garfield the cat,
because you were around some real comic, geniuses on a set like that.
Fortunately, I just had to be the straight guy.
Okay, very good. I like it. Next up, true or false? Your original contract for True Lies was for 7 weeks, but ended up earning 7 months of pay because of how long it took to shoot.
I didn't realize it was just 7 weeks. It was about 9 months, I think I shot, and the movie was shot over a year long.
Right.
That was magic. I was so glad to be invited to the party on that one. Learning the tango, taking tango lessons with Arnold, getting stomped on.
What do you mean?
No, because I decided to do my tango lesson barefoot because I'm from Hawaii. I'm used to walking around barefoot. Mm-hmm. Big mistake when you're learning tango because you have to step, step, stomp, step, and in his hard shoes and as big and as muscly as he is, that was very painful.
You're saying Arnold stepped on your feet?
Yes, it wasn't his fault, though. It was my fault because I wasn't wearing my shoes. I was supposed to be wearing my shoes.
Or, he could have had a better, instead of 2 left feet or anything like that.
It was our first lesson.
I like it.
Yeah.
You got any good Arnold stories? Your favorite Arnold story from True Lies?
Oh, my gosh. I don't know if he'd want me to.
Then now you have to tell it. Yep. Now it's in.
He and all his friends are such, the stunt guys and his stand-ins. They're great guys, but they're like a bunch of dudes that hang out all day long, and it's like the most benign thing, like playing thumb war, and I don't know, and lighting.
Yes.
Lighting something.
Lighting things on fire. They would light things on fire, like the chairs on set, and it's
wow.
I know, it's just, but they're sitting around for 18 hours a day, and it was nothing unsafe or
That's
whatever.
a big budget.
But a bunch of teenage boys just trying to keep themselves energized by dumb games.
And you're sitting off to the side and you're watching this stuff. What is happening?
No. I was really. The one day that really freaked me out was we were shooting by Van Nuys Airport, and we're all hanging out. Everybody's having fun, and the Northridge earthquake, hit, and we were 3 miles from the epicenter.
Jeez.
the glass was falling out of the side windows, and Jamie Lee's like screaming. She's like, "What's going on?" And then we had to evacuate because there was a gas leak. And who had all the dialogue? It was my monologue in the torture scene. And I was like, okay, stay calm. I know there's an earthquake. I know this whole building could blow up around you, but nobody's going to remember that. They're only going to think that you suck. So I had to just like focus and memorize my lines and do them the best I could. But yeah, the Northridge earthquake was going off around me as I was doing the torture scene in that movie.
I had no idea.
That's a bit of trivia. I just remembered.
Last one, the next, on the other side of things. You were in 3 episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm. You were famously known as the bathroom monitor of Larry David. And true or false, that was based on a real person in Larry David's office?
I don't know. No, that's false because, well, my name, Cha-Cha, was based on his daughter's equestrian coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there was a real person in the office. They were concerned about monitoring his bathroom habits.
You know, I didn't know about that part. I didn't see, because when you show up on that show, they don't tell you at all who your character is, what you're doing, or anything. Yeah. So it was completely improvised, and I would just verbal diarrhea, just talking, and they go, okay, I like what you said about Ross dress for less, and let's carpool into the office, and so then you give them more of that. But I was really shooting in the dark. I didn't know what I was doing.
That was all ad lib, where you're like, I'll write it in my Filofax. You said,
yeah, I'll write it in my Filofax, because I did. I carried a little tiny book, and I wrote in little tiny handwriting all my appointments for the day. So I carried an actual Filofax around with me.
So you didn't know you were playing Richard Lewis's girlfriend, or they did at least give you that information coming
when I
in?
got to set, because I'd worked with Richard before.
Yeah.
Oh, Richard.
Right.
He said, okay, Larry's not going to tell you anything, but I'm going to tell you a couple things so you don't walk in there like deer in the headlights. He said, you're my girlfriend and you're working in his office. I got you the job. And I'm like, okay, good, thanks. But he didn't tell me all the rest of it because he didn't know. So it's a surprise to everyone that shows up on set there.
Yeah, you being nicknamed the bathroom monitor, that you had bowel concern for Larry David, is one of the funniest things I've seen on television ever.
Well, I originally went in for the part of his not proctologist, but the one that gives enemas. And they said, no, we can't have you play that part. So they had me come in and play the bathroom monitor. Yeah, that's true. I went in and my audition was for and I don't, they do that healing thing.
Sure. Colonic?
Colonic, yes. Colonic technician, yes.
Because I do believe they said that they would have a colon off, right? They did. They were going to compare colons, Larry and Richard.
How bizarre is that?
Oh, my God.
Hilarious.
Tia Carrere, thank you for coming here and playing along and having a good time, hopefully.
Thank you. Mahalo. And hope all your dads and moms out there, sports lovers, come and see my movie, Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch in theaters nationwide the Friday of Memorial Day weekend, May 23rd. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.